Ho, 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 ho! Welcome to the Rule of Carnage, a festive podcast about designing festive miniature games, wherein me, Santa Claus, and this guy, Old Saint Nick, will try and design the most Christmassy game that we can think of in honor of the season. Glenn, what have you hidden in our stocking today for this episode?
Well, as regular viewers will know, we recently did one of our roundups of questions asked in the comment section of our videos, and one of the questions that was asked in the comment section of videos, which I didn't include in that roundup, is how would you write a Christmas scenario? And the reason I didn't include it in that roundup is we decided to try and make a full 15-minute chat out of it. We're going to suggest some rules, maybe for writing Christmas scenarios, maybe more generally for writing very specific scenarios. And then if we don't run out of time, we might on the fly try and write a Christmas scenario as we're sat here and maybe put it up at some point. Okay, so, all right, now the first rule for me, if there's going to be a rule about writing a Christmas scenario or writing any such theme scenario, is that thou shalt not have just the Santa and elves are villains or playable characters that, like all the other playable characters and villains, only Santa is a bit more powerful than some of the other ones and the elves are a bit more crappy than the rest of them. And there you go, there's a Christmas scenario. That is one of the things that annoys me and you know what, yes, I get annoyed sometimes reading 3 scenarios with a Christmas theme because it doesn't absolve you from being a hack.
My lack of expenditure does not excuse your lack of effort.
Exactly, yeah, I'm putting the work into reading this thing, and I might even put the work into playing it, so you should really get yourself into gear. And sadly, quite a few Christmas scenarios are exactly like our normal game, only one person gets to be good. The one,
so it goes back to our question of theme. What's the theme of a Christmas scenario? Because it isn't just putting Santa in.
Yeah, what is the theme of Christmas in many ways would be a good question to ask. And the spirit of Christmas is bringing people together.
I would go naturally with distributing things. If I had to come up with a Christmas scenario, I would make it some kind of distribution, perhaps under a time pressure, perhaps with some disruption.
I think that would be, and if we do a scenario on the fly, there's a strong Gaslands opportunity, I think, for a Christmas scenario there. Basically,
well, I think you can given enough facilities in a scale 6 game, you could have a good time whizzing around with your interstellar warp jumping Santa spaceship.
Yeah, so there's a few things I think I would like to see if I saw a Christmas scenario. The thing I would most like to see in a special Christmas scenario is a version of the game that everybody can play at Christmas, because
family friendly. Down sillying, up sillying, and down complexity arising.
Yes, the thing that Christmas is most about for me, and I think for many other people, is getting together with family. And a large part of that Christmas time is often pulling out a board game that everybody in the family can wrap their heads around. And some of us are blessed enough to have families who will engage with hobby games and hobby board games. Some of us cannot even get family to move beyond Cluedo and Monopoly, and even those of us who do have family that will sit down and play Mysterium or a Mega City at Christmas will rarely find a family willing to sit down and play a miniatures war game at Christmas. And so for me, the most Christmassy scenario you could possibly design would be a scenario that I would happily get out after the turkey has been cleared away on Christmas Day, and roll out and say, okay, Nana, you are.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, so maybe we're designing a skirmish game where you're on the giant's table and you have to navigate the remnants of the Christmas dinner.
This is a thing that for various reasons has come up a few times. There are 2 games I know of that use miniatures as a 1-for-1 scale.
Oh yeah,
fairy meat, which would not be a suitable thing to to play at the table. Fairy meat is about cannibalistic fairies, like live in our world, and they're about the size of a miniature and are hacking each other's legs off to eat them and things.
Love it.
And a game called Zinvaded, which is about there are teeny tiny sort of aliens that are invading our planet, and there are heroic men who have been shrunk down to the alien size to fight them off, and it's 1-for-1 scale. So the whole point is, look at your desk. That is a perfectly appropriate playing zone. It's got some cover there with the table, bits and pieces. And yes, I think a great Christmassy scenario would be one where you get the table just after Christmas dinner has been cleared off of it, hand everybody a miniature that they recognize, and aren't worried about breaking or having issues with, and within 5 minutes of you handing them that miniature, you can play that game on that table with your friends and family. That would, for me, be a Christmassy scenario for a miniatures game. Failing that, I would want it to be a game that tried to be about bringing the people at the tabletop together, something cooperative-y, something less sort of directly confrontational. What do you think, mate?
Yeah, no, I think those are two good directions to head in. I think I will probably make sure that it introduced lots of elements that made it seem more light-hearted and therefore more accessible and more generally comedic and nonsensical. It's funny because I don't think I've ever played a tabletop miniatures game Christmas scenario, but I have played a lot of Halloween ones, and I think the similar rules apply. It's just that it's easier to do it with Halloween stuff because there's more horror movie tropes around it. Although, have you seen Silent Night, Deadly Night, which is just an incredible piece of nonsense?
So, okay, look, on the grounds, I've said the good thing would be a game played around the remnants of Christmas dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing would be to hand people a miniature that they recognize from their normal life and aren't worried about breaking.
Yeah.
And that, moving around and maybe delivering things to people would be a strong way for the theme of the game to go. I think there's a very strong option for a Gaslands.
For a Gaslands post-dinner.
A Gaslands post-Christmas dinner scenario, because everybody, knows a Hot Wheels car.
The problem is, though, I don't want to use movement templates. What I want to do is I want to get my fork and I want to catapult the cars into somebody else's gravy in some kind of like table rugby, but with like high-speed die-cast cars. The whole thing's going to end in tears.
Well, I think maybe not flicking cars around the tabletop, but is there an option for a more improvised sort of movement templates? Because you don't necessarily want to dump a load of movement templates with exit arrows and gear markers.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think if you had a knife and you had to go straight along that, or you had a fork and you had to go around the bendy bit of the fork, or you had a spoon where you could always spin on the end of it.
Yeah,
and then if you drop mines, that's just the leftover sprouts.
Yeah, you can have like crackers you can drive through as little tunnels. So I think possibly if you got sort of Gaslands and you went, okay, the templates are the knives and forks and spoons and whatever sort of eating implements you have on the tabletop. You can position them however you like. You give a rule for what happens at the end of the spoon. Everybody has like a place marker in front of them. You've got to get to everybody else's place marker and give them a present by getting the cars round to within, sort of one fork's distance of their place marker. And you hand everybody a Hot Wheels car, and you play Christmas dinner table Gaslands. That would be a Christmas scenario as I would have it, roughly in ballparked out. We've literally just made that up on the spot.
Glenn Ford approved.
That for me would be a Christmassy thing to play. It would to me be a more Christmassy thing than getting together in a room with like one other person and him being evil Santa Claus and me being good Santa Claus, and then they've got to get into the middle of the tabletop and kick each other's lungs out. So that's my position on that subject.
Excellent. Well, that sounds like something I'm going to play.
Okie dokie.
In fact, I might even use the simplified Gaslands rules that I wrote last year for children. Maybe that's the right solution.
Maybe, quite possibly. So if you are developing a game of your own and you're watching this video and you're wondering about a good way to engage people with the game that you're working on developing, here's a challenge. Go and write a Christmas scenario. I will try to get this video timed so that it's a week or two before the 25th December. Go write a Christmas scenario for the game that you are working on. Put it in Google or Dropbox or OneDrive, wherever it happens to be. And when you see the video in a couple of weeks' time, just before Christmas, put the link to your Christmas scenario and ask everybody to play your Christmas scenario on Christmas Day or around their dinner table, and they can drop some feedback into the Discord channel, and you can get a little bit of feedback on a game that you're working on. And then if people are interested in it, they might give you some proper play tests, and we can start to build a Christmassy community around the play testing and development of games. So I think that
what a beautiful gift.
I think that would be a lovely Christmassy thing for everybody to do. So that will be the challenge for everybody. Start designing a Christmas scenario now, and then drop it onto whichever video it is that will go up before the 25th December, and everybody can get together and come together in love and playtesting over this festive season. Other than that, that's going to be it for this episode of Rule of Carnage. Please say something Christmassy in the comment section below. Drop into the Rule of Carnage Discord and give us all season's greetings and tell us about the Christmas scenario that you're excited about writing and how much better it's going to be than ours. Like and subscribe. Obviously, it's Christmas, we deserve a present. Look us up on social media. From this episode of Rule of Carnage, it's going to be thank you and goodbye. So Merry Christmas, thank you and goodbye.